Okay, we're going to have a look at the monitoring end. Now, it's caused a few hiccups and upsets, and I'd be the first to admit that it has for me as well. But it is actually quite logical and quite simple once you get your head around it. But it's one of the, like a lot of things in audio. Once you know it, and you think, well, why am I worried about it? The master fader is a good option. Very versatile. It does work very well. I'll just give you a brief outline of everything. So as we've said before, it's hardwired on the signal path through the splitter in the corresponding 24 channels all the way up the different channels. And when you start seeing just channels like that, channels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not been linked. This software has not been linked to the Mackie that's the hardware. It needs to first be linked up into the Wi-Fi, and that is your Wi-Fi thing right there. And when you click it, you'll see the detected mixes. That's our detected mixer. Once you've clicked that on there, it then links in, and you'll see that it's a green, little arcs are green. That means it's connected via the Wi-Fi. Suddenly you've got listings now. Instead of channel 1, 2, 3, you've got all the preamps are listed as a default all the way up to the 24 channels you've got. This is touch screen, so you can pull it across. It's quite, because they're very large format stuff, but that's very useful for the touch screen, and so it's quite an easy way to navigate. So that's your main mixer view, and it will say main in the left here, main mix. You've got various parts to the main mix. They're honestly not that important, but I'll go through them just so that you know what they are. So the red line that's blipping around is basically showing your gates and your compressors and such like. You wouldn't probably use that on a tracking. If you want to use a compressor, they've got some regular ones on the preamps that I would use if I was going to use it for a vocal or something. The next one up is an EQ. Again, you wouldn't be using that really on tracking. You don't want to be changing the signal path at all in that way. So you click on it again, it goes. The next little block here is important. These two buttons at the top are basically your analog and your digital signal paths. So while it's on A, it's analog, and it will sit, and we've got it written as mic pre, what it is. And when you click on B, that basically is playback. So whatever is on that channel on the door is set to playback via the Mackie and into your monitoring. So once you've got your recorded stuff in, if you then want an artist to play against previously recorded stuff, you literally switch it to B. Each channel you switch to B, and it will correspond and drive it back into the monitor mix. We'll look at that a bit more in detail in a minute. Close that again, you're back to the main mix. This is your main mix button, and then if you want an overview on the far left, you hit that. That gives you an overview of every channel in the Mackie. It's handy sometimes if there's something ghosting out, or there's something that shouldn't be there. You can normally detect it showing on one of these if that's the case. And then the individual channel is across here on the right, and it will tell you it's channel 1 we're currently on, and that gives you the AB as well, switch on there, and your levels, your trim levels and your gain. They don't really need to be changed, they can just stay like that really. And this thing here, which basically shows you anything that is being sent out and has a level on it, and default is 0, nothing there. So but you'll see that change as you go through the monitoring. So let's go back to the main line. So currently everything is switched to A, the blue A. I'll note, tell a lie, that's in B. So we'll switch that back to 8. So, and basically they're showing analog ins. So whatever goes in to those channels will be live stuff that goes in, and it will show in the mixer. So let's just plug a mic. You can plug mics directly into the preamps if you want, and just switch it to mic, and then singing away, there we go. It's showing on as it should be on the 710, the first preamp on the 710, and there you go. And then basically it will show your level, whatever your level is, but until you start moving this fader up, that's what's sending it to the left and right. And that can be done on the main, but generally what we're using this for is monitoring. So we need to look at the monitoring mixer itself. So that is going back to this little main thing here. We click on it, and that gives you all the different sub mixes that you can choose from. We're going to look at one of the monitors. Let's look at monitor D. So we click on monitor D, and different color for monitor D, and it shows basically the monitor mixer of the main. And you'll still see a level there. There you go. And if you lift that fader up, you'll hear it in the cans. Simple as that. So that's how it's working when you're tracking live analog stuff coming in. So you can control the monitor D from the mix position, as we are here at the moment, or we can go across to a separate tablet near the artist that they can then control their own monitor mix with. So we'll go over and have a look at that now. So the tablets are stored here in between the monitors, and there's charge lines for them. So once you finish, just put them in, and they're always kept up in charge. I have marked the backs of them with whatever the monitor is, but that's not that important. But generally it just saves you time, because when you switch this on, it should already come up as monitor D in theory. We'll soon find out. I keep when I load these up, I put them into the holders in the vertical, and you'll find out why in a minute. Switching on the side, let's just switch that on. Okay, it takes a while to set up. Sometimes they ask for to be what they call updated and what have you. It can take a bit of time. You don't have to update them straight off. If you've got time to kill, then you can update them. But they do like to ask to be updated quite a lot. So you'll be brought up with a pass number. So again, 27, 28. Okay, that, and then that should open up. And these are the stands that they hold on. You can get the headphones on there and what have you. Move those around to wherever you need to go and adjust them accordingly. And then all you're going to see is Mackie fader, master fader. So just click on that, and you'll get the same sort of thing coming up as you would on the main screen. And again, we need to link it, so we need to click on that. It's detected the mixer that we want, and then it goes into, as we've got 7, is showing all the different things there. Now the reason why, here we go, it's showing an update now. Let's remind me later of that. So we're currently showing monitor C, so let's go to monitor D. Okay, there's the color of the monitor D. And the reason why it's in the vertical is that we want to get it in the horizontal, and it only seems to detect that when it's in vertical. Then you have to then switch it around. So you switch it around, and in the bottom corner you see this little thing here. You hit that, and it spins it around to horizontal. So I would change from the monitor position. I would change the main mix. I would change it to B if it needs to be played back. But basically, whatever goes in there live, they can individually adjust it and then do their own headphone mix, which is kind of handy. Takes a lot of pressure off the engineer. So let's go back to this now. So let's open up a project. So we've got Jimmy Hillbilly's project here that I'm doing at the moment. So we're looking at the mixer at the moment. I've put in some hotkeys for Reaper 16 and 17. So F17 automatically gets you to the arrangement window, and F16 gets you back to the mixer window. So it's a quick switch around. Each channel then has a send that's already done, and they're set up in the session 24. So Mackie 1, 2, 3, 4, all the sends. They are all your digital sends going back to the Mackie, so that when you go into B mode on the Mackie, they will play back in theory. So let's open up the Mackie again. We've got our monitor D. Currently everything is in A, so let's go to B and change everything over to digital. Let's just do a few of these, but you can do as many or as little as you want. So if you've got whoever is playing in on the channel needs to be on A, of course. So these are all on B, and they are then sending the individual channel from each channel on the door that's already been recorded via the Mackie back into this. So if we then hit play on here, let's open up there, and there you go. That's the whole thing coming through, playing as you want, and then you simply mix according to what you want on your headphones on the playback. What you can also do is further down on the mixer, if we keep going all the way down past, so there's our 24, just so as you know, 24 preamps, and 25 and 26 is your aux left and right, and 27 is your bass pod, and 28, 29 and 30 are playback groups. So these can be used, for example, if you grouped all your drums together, you could then switch them to Mackie 30 or 20 or whatever, and then you could literally just control all the drums on one fader if that was what you prefer, rather than mincing around with various elements of the drum kit. So you can also do that. You can just assign your send to 30 or, well, any one of these three, so you can have 3 different subgroups of stuff that you can just group in and bus into those if you want that on the mix down. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah.